Well, it's a great pleasure to be here for a new show on GameFace for the MPNFL. It's called the President's Report, proudly brought to you by ClubZone. Everything your club will need to raise money. It's time to supercharge your fundraising. We'll talk more about that throughout the show. Can I welcome our two presidents with me in the studio? Jeff Spieghoff, the president of the Pines Football Club. Welcome, Jeffrey. Good to have you with us.
Thanks, Dan.
And Brett McRae, the whale from the Rosebud Footy Club, whose team is a chance of playing finals, and we'll talk more about that a bit later. G'day, Brett. Good to have you with us as well.
Thanks for having me, Dan.
It's an absolute pleasure. And John Anderson has joined us as well, the former CEO of AFL Southeast, who's still involved in local footy as a board member of the Northern Football League, former Victorian state cricketer, former former CEO of the Melbourne Football Club, and former CEO of Harness Racing Victoria. John has been one of the best sports administrators this state has had over a long career. Welcome, John. Good to have you with us.
Hello, Dan, Jeff and Brett. Good to be chatting to you.
Lots to talk about. Now, John, we've got you on to talk about the proposal of having more clubs come into the competition, which was one of the issues you had to deal with when you were the CEO of AFL Southeast. We'll get to that shortly, and also promotion and relegation. But I'll start with one of the other big topics with both Brett and Jeff, and that is the issue that we played last week without crowds. Both you and Rosebud, Jeff, had home games. How did you cope with that?
Yeah, it was flat, to be honest with you. Like just getting the day up and not having the people around. It was a bit flat, but just went with it. I think the bit of easing on the costs were done through the league, which sort of was okay. But you still want crowds. You want some fun. You want to enjoy it, even though we got beaten by a heap of points. You want to have the people around from the clubs and supporting. That's what the game's about.
Did you want to play?
Well, it didn't worry me as a president. I was asking the coach, and the coach felt very strongly about conditioning and getting ready, that sort of thing. My view is, I agree with that. But if we played, we played. Yeah.
Your team had a great win, Brev. It was a great day for the club.
Yeah, it was very good.
Training on Thursday, Nick said on our show, our new MPNFL Extra show on Saturday, and he had a glint in his eye, and I knew something was up. I know him pretty well by now, Nick, that you were going to have a good day. The training was outstanding. You suffered a couple of hammies. How did you feel about playing?
Well, I was a bit the same as Jeff. And in the end, the choice was either to play 1 week or 2 weeks, or miss 2 weeks. So we didn't really have it. It was the choice. So we just had to play. It was the way. We weren't going to miss 2 weeks because the guys all wanted to play. There was an appetite for playing, conditioning aside. And, that was an issue. And, we had a couple of hammies on the weekend, but who's to say that they wouldn't have happened anyway? How
much money have you lost? You're able to say that approximately. If it was a normal day.
Probably this week, not so much. But last time we came back with no crowds, we had Sereno at home. So that would have been a big day.
What about you, Jeff?
Yeah, I suppose it's probably somewhere between the 6 and 7, something like that.
As in clear, yeah.
Yeah.
How do you get that back?
You don't.
You can't get it back at all.
No.
Not in the long term, even.
No, I wouldn't have thought so. I think it's just gone. Like you rely on the crowd coming through the gate. That's the starting point, but it's also all the stock they buy and all that sort of thing. So and functions. That's the other bit. Like we've rearranged our ladies' day twice now, and. Poor old Gaze had to freeze a lot of food. We got 15 grand's worth of grog at the moment. So
have you had any functions this year? We got one in.
We haven't been able to get them in. No, which is really hard.
Yeah, we had one at the start of the year.
Do you think though all the clubs have coped pretty well in what's been a tough year?
Absolutely. We've got nothing to compare it with. So look, I think last year we didn't have anything.
Yes,
that was probably a flatter year, obviously.
Yeah.
This year it's been a little stop-start. We're actually, as a competition, I think we were flying when we had that first shutdown. When we came back, it was a very trepidation, like the first week without crowds, and then seeing the writing on the wall. I think I was doing dry July, and when they announced the midnight closure, I just went down the club and had a few beers and said, I've given up. Threw my hands up in the air.
I've got to say though, I reckon it's coming back this time. Even just talking to Nick about it, he sends messages out to the guys all the time.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the feedback back this time was not as great as it had been previously. Like normally he'd send a message out and you get thumbs ups all the time, and and this time it was just a lot slower reaction from the guys. They were just sort of going, are we ever going to come back?
Just to add to that, we've had attrition that we probably wouldn't have had if not for those breaks. Like guys have said, look, now that we've had the second one, I'm just going to work on Saturdays and make money and do that and stuff. So there's been,
and you can understand that, can't
absolutely.
you? Yes,
life goes on, Yeah,
and I know there are a few other clubs that have said that to me, that the interest has waned, especially those teams that can't make the finals. I mean, your team obviously, Brett, can make the finals. You've got 2 to go as we record this program, so obviously your team will be pretty keen to try and get into the finals. So there'll be lots of enthusiasm. And we'll get to this issue in a minute, Jeffrey. At the moment, your team's trying to stave off relegation. So I know you've got a lot of injuries to senior players, but you'll be doing your best to try and ensure you're still in First Division next year. Yeah, absolutely. Although we've got all 4 netball sides in the finals. That's good. I'm also the president of the netball side. I know you are, yes. Well, I mean, you've got to remember the girls want to play as well.
That's right.
And it's important for them too, isn't it?
That's exactly right.
They get lost in it a bit, don't they?
By some people, yeah.
Yep. Does that frustrate you, Brett? It does, doesn't
it? A little bit, yeah. And I think you would have seen, maybe, I don't know if you would have seen, but the finals have been, I'd hope, been announced. I think they have. And there's extra games at Frankston Park this year which don't have netball, which is, for me, very frustrating. And it's probably not a lot to do with anyone's fault other than not being able to get grounds for whatever reason. But
Mate, Pines is sitting there. Could have had the whole lot, the girls, the guys.
As a president group, we spoke about this 6 months ago, how we wanted to maximise as much as we could football and netball together, to a point where we even had a little bit of a discussion about whether we should have the grand final elsewhere rather than Frankston Park, so the girls are with us.
We did.
So to have that now come out with extra games at Frankston Park, it's frustrating, and the girls will be terrified by it. I think they'll just be going, why are we getting ostracised, if you like? They're getting put somewhere else. So,
John Anderson, can you understand the frustration of Brett and Jeff? I know, as we said earlier, you're no longer the CEO of AFL South East, but it's been a big issue. We know it's the showpiece ground of the competition, and we want to play finals at Skybus Stadium. It's a great stadium with wonderful lights now, but there are no netball courts. Can you understand the frustration of Brett and Jeff regarding the netball?
Oh, absolutely, because the MPNFL, I really love the MPNFL as a competition, and as you say, I'm on the Northern Footy League board, but the relationships between football and netball are totally different. I mean, it's all football, and the netball plays totally separately all the time. So, I mean, in my time, we had some discussions with Frankston Park and the council to try and have netball courts built at Frankston Park. So you do have that joint sort of sporting occasion, having football and netball together, and that really works tremendously well for the MPNFL. So yeah, that from the finals point of view, I understand why it is frustrating. It also is a benefit to play. Like, one of the best grand finals I've ever seen of any sport was Pines and Sorrento at Frankston Park, and so that day was just a fantastic day for the MPNFL. But it is a shame that netball don't quite get the same sort of crowds, etc. But nevertheless, I've seen netball finals at Tyabb or wherever, and you still get very good crowds and strong participation. But yeah, I understand why it's a bit frustrating.
One of the things we probably do need to think about then is longer term. How do we arrive at that in a few years' time, so that all the grand finals are played in the same space?
Yeah, I know that the Frankston Footy Club have been talking to the council, but you can see from council's perspective, it's a pretty big one-off hit for them. Like, let's say 100, 120 grand to build netball courts. You'd need 2 of them. And then...
Where would you put them?
Well, they'd have to go down the bottom end,
Where in front of the church.
Yeah, there was some talk of putting them on the road, where the road is there, or somewhere like that.
So down at the beach end.
Yeah, down the beach end. And it was interesting when we had the South East Football Netball League too. When you had finals at Cranbourne, the netball courts are at Cranbourne, but even that league didn't like the idea of having the netball 300 metres away from the footy ground. So it's always been very similar that that you want the football and the netball, and we know Rosebud's been very strong, even with those the games against, who was the league
Ovens and
we
Murray.
played
Ovens
against?
and Murray, yeah.
Yeah, Ovens and Murray and the netball and the footy together and all that, and then
Fantastic.
finals.
We'll just have the
Oh,
grand
the
final
final.
Rosebud then. That'll work.
We used to. We used to, yeah.
Well, it is one of the best grounds. There's no doubt about that. But I mean, it's something that needs to be addressed. You need to have the netball and the football in a big competition like the MPNFL that prides itself on the netball as much as it prides itself on the football. But because we've got such a great stadium in Skybar Stadium, I understand the footy needs to be there for the showpiece games. But the netball doesn't deserve to miss out because they do a lot for, obviously, the local football clubs that play in the competition. This is the MPNFL President's Report, proudly brought to you by ClubZone. Everything your club will need to raise money. It's time to supercharge your fundraising. Can we talk, gentlemen, about the possibility of new clubs coming in, which has been a big part of the MPNFL since I've been here? John, when you were the CEO 3 years ago, I know Cranbourne were very, very keen to come in when they knew the Stephnell was finishing after leaving with the other clubs. There has been a lot of talk on social media of the grass is always greener for these clubs, that they're never happy when they leave a league. They were in the MPNFL in the Casey Cardinia division for a long time. Then they've gone off to a new competition. And then because that competition got closed down, 7 of them went to Outer East. Berwick didn't like it. They've gone to the Eastern Football League. And now many of these clubs are not happy with the Outer East and they want to come back into the MPNFL. Can you understand the frustration of the clubs in the MPNFL at the moment that these clubs won't be happy if they come back?
Yeah, look, I've been through that for sure. With and Brett and Jeff have been all through it. But I think like you've got 10 teams in Division 1, 12 in Division 2, and it would be terrific to be able to have 10 in Division 1, 10 in Division 2, so all of the Division 2 games are played twice. You play the same teams twice every year. That's why you get this. And let's just go back to the Division 2 fixturing. So you have a lot of teams who play different teams twice and some other teams only once. And that's why, actually, I'll go back to that point. This year in the Northern Footy League, we've agreed that the Division 1 and Division 2 teams don't get relegated. But the premiers do come up. So because of the years have been so different this year, and I know Jeff probably would like to hear this, but the Northern have said we'll only allow teams to come up. So next year, 2 teams can go down, so it goes back to where it was. But because this year has been such a year of difficulty for all the teams, you allow the bottom teams to stay, but you allow the premiers to go up because they've won a grand final and you let them go up. So that I'm not sure whether MPNFL's having that sort of discussion. But yes, I've always been approving of teams like Cranbourne or Tooradin or Frankston Dolphins or whoever else applies to come into the competition so that you can actually have Division 1 of 10, Division 2 of 10, and whether Division 3 is initially 6 or 8 or whatever, and it allows some of the bottom clubs in Division 2 to become a bit stronger, winning games in Division 3. So it'd be just interesting to see how that's coming along. But Cranbourne went into Outer East. They're much better to be playing in MPNFL than in that Outer East competition.
There's a lot of issues there. Can I go to the issue of relegation and promotion? It's a very interesting point that you bring up there, because we were talking to Sean Connell, who's the Chief Operations Officer, on our MPNFL Extra show on Saturday, and he's waiting for expressions of interest as to whether clubs are interested in whether relegation should occur this year. And Pines, as we know, is in the midst of that. Edith Vale Aspendale in the midst of that as well. 13% between the two of them at the moment. Pines on the bottom, Edith Vale second bottom. But, Jeff, I would have thought it's quite strange, and I don't know, John, whether if you were still in charge, whether a decision would have already been made, that a decision is yet to be made, that a decision won't be made till after the home and away season's over, because the clubs are getting 2 or 3 weeks to put an expression of interest in.
Yeah, I think we're trying to tie too many things together, and it probably was something we could have voted on a few weeks ago. We could have actually said, well, this is what we, like John was saying with Northern League, we could say, whether we think this is right, wrong or otherwise. Tying it now to the, admission of clubs, it's a bit like the 2 week stuff. We might have voted on going back the second week if it had been 1 week or 2 week or whatever. Tying it to decision, it's a high risk. I don't think we'll get an equitable outcome.
It's now linked to the 75% vote too, isn't it?
Yeah.
And you should know. You should know before the season's over, don't you think, John? They should know before the season's over.
Well, I would have thought so. I would have thought when we went into lockdown and fixtures change and, sides don't play against each other and all that sort of stuff, than they would have otherwise, then I actually was quite agreeable to allowing the bottom teams this year, just this year, because it's a totally different year to any other, to allow them to stay up because of the differences of the fixturing and the matches being lost, but allow the Premier to come up. So in an MPNFL situation, next year you would have 11 in Division 1 and 11 in Division 2.
Would you bring new teams in, John, or not?
Oh, well, then if new teams get admitted in, then I'm not sure how that's going, but then that might be different.
You've hit the nail on the head, though, John. That's what I'm saying. It should be a separate. The two things don't have to be combined. They can be mutually exclusive.
No.
And there's no reason to do that. There's nothing in the Constitution or anything like that says you have to do it that way.
So, John, just back on what you were saying about the Premier coming up and the bottom side not getting relegated, that then creates next year an inequity in the draw as well. So everyone's not going to play each other twice again.
But only for 1 year.
It does make when you've got 11 teams in the comp, it's not ideal. But if you do have your every game played with it, and COVID is okay, then I then think. Then you go back, if there's no other teams coming in, then you go back to your 10 and 12 that you've already had, but 2 teams would go down.
Yeah, but I understand what you're saying, but I guess if I was the team that was second last on the ladder and I didn't get to play the bottom side twice because that's the way the draw worked out, I'd be pretty annoyed about that.
Yeah.
As I am about this year.
So, I mean, my personal view is there should be no promotion and no relegation this year. It's just a one-off year that's not going to happen. That's my view. It's not the club view. That's my view.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. I understand the different points, but I've supported the Premier coming up because if you do have your normal finals, if the finals do progress, and let's just hypothetically, if Langwarrin plays Mornington in the grand final, I think it's fair that whoever wins that should go up. Yeah, but
I'm not saying whether it's fair or not. I'm just don't.
Yeah, no.
Because I don't think it's fair that, let's say it's Pines. I don't think it's fair that they get relegated because they haven't played. You haven't played EDS twice, I don't think.
No.
And
nor Red Hill.
Or Red Hill. So
and that's I get your point.
Sometimes it's not about fairness. It's just about what it is.
No, and I think I like the idea of the relegations not happening this year, and the Premier's going up. But you're right that next year you've got 11. In both comps, it makes next year a little bit of a different year as well. But hopefully it kind of works out. But it's a difficult time. Nothing's perfect these days.
How many presidents do you know, Brett, would have a similar view to you that you don't want promotional relegation?
I couldn't say. I haven't had the flat-out discussion with a lot of them because we haven't seen each other. We haven't really spoken about it, have we?
What about you, Jeff?
Even at
No,
president meetings, we haven't
I
spoken
couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you. I haven't really broached the subject for obvious reasons.
I mean,
It sounds like self-interest.
no, it's not. But I
Would be.
mean, Paddy, your coach, was on our show on Saturday,
Yeah.
and I understand where he's coming from. He also said to me in a conversation we had on Friday that he doesn't know what to do because he doesn't know whether we are going to be relegated if we finish on the bottom. If we're a chance of being relegated, do I try and get some of my senior players back who can come back? I know there's many on the long-term injury list that won't come back. As you said, you've been hit by injuries to senior players this year. Or if we're not going to be relegated, do I just keep playing the kids and hope that my senior players get fit for a decent crack at it next year? I understand where he's coming from, and I'm sure EDS would be in the same boat.
Yeah, and look, and they along with us and a couple of other clubs wrote to the league with those sorts of comments.
Has the league come back to you on that?
No, that's why on Saturday I thought Sean's answer was incomplete. Like he said about the 21 days and no one's approached. That's not true. There's 3 clubs at least that have approached the league. The 21 days is about a special general meeting. That's where that comes in. And
But don't you, Brett? You've got to make the decision now. You can't be making the decision when the 100 away
straightforward.
season's
Yeah,
over.
absolutely.
It can be, and I'm starting to agree that I think promotion is okay because I see Langwarrin has been clearly the best side. I understand it'll be uneven. I'm not madly in love with the bye, but I think we can wear the bye for 1 year.
The bye doesn't worry me.
But the bye doesn't worry you.
Worries me.
Well, I mean, yeah, there is obviously an issue unless you play more games, and that means more money for the clubs to have to fork out.
No, you can't fit 20 games in.
You cannot fit 20 games
You have
in?
a look at our season now.
No, you can't. You couldn't.
You can't start early enough because of cricket, and you can't finish later because of cricket. We've
Right.
got the period we've got, and 18 games is the most we can fit in, really.
No,
we could have
missed two.
pushed it back a little bit this year because of the way that Easter's earlier this year or something. I don't know.
Yes.
It started earlier, whatever. But
So you would miss playing. You'd miss playing 2 teams a second time in an 11. Yeah.
But I mean,
I get that.
I think you can wear that for 1 year. I think you wear that for 1 year because
it's easy if you're not on the bottom. Mate.
No.
If you're not on the bottom too, you can wear it.
No, but I understand it, Brett. But I mean, this is a special situation because of
I know, but
COVID.
so is this year. So why does the Premier have to come up? There's an argument both ways, Dan.
Oh well, I think if they're the best side, and I mean, if it's more even, if let's say it was a more even competition, Langwarrin are clearly the best side in second. I think they deserve a crack at coming up. But if let's say Langwarrin, Mornington, and Seaford were very very similar on points, the top 3, and it was a real battle to see who finished top 3, I would say no. And let's say someone from 5th got up and won the premiership. No, I'm not sure we've got a team good enough to go up. Let's keep it as is. But I think this year we need to look at maybe having 11 each. But then again, the decision should be made now, should not be made in 3 weeks' time, in my humble opinion.
That's the principle I'd agree to. Yeah, it should be made now.
And just in regard, Brett, I'd be very interested in your view on an increase in numbers in new teams. You're not madly in love with it, I take it.
No, I'm not.
No, why?
No. Oh, well, from a Southern Peninsula perspective, there's no value in it for us.
Why?
Well, it's further travel, for one. Like
How much further, though?
I played through the last time they came in. I was playing footy, right? So there was the last time they came in. Let me put my glasses on so I can see my notes, all right?
Yes, you can do that. You put your glasses on, Brett.
So last time the clubs came in, there were a lot of our supporters didn't travel.
Yes.
And they won't travel that far.
Right.
They just won't. So their supporters also didn't travel, so less gates for us and so on. There's a significant impact on player retention because the under-19s and reserves guys who don't get paid, they don't want to drive all the way over there. And the under-17 netball, we figure, would be the same. Their parents have got to drive them all over there. If they start at 9 in the morning, they're going to have to leave home at 7.
How far are we talking?
Well, let's
an
say
hour?
Let's say it's an hour.
Right.
So you've got to leave at 7 to be there at 8 to play at 9.
Am I allowed to compare you with the Wimmera Football League or the Gippsland Football League? No, I know you're not. But I mean, Ararat to the Southern Mallee Giants, Brett, is about 2.5 hours. We're talking Hopetoun Butte.
I know that, mate. I know, but it's not a relevance. I don't see that as a relevant argument at all.
Oh, I do, because I mean,
you can have a different opinion.
Yeah, of course we can have a different opinion. But I mean, at the end of the day, aren't you not expanding your competition, making your competition better in the long term?
But are we making it better?
I reckon you are.
Well, that's okay.
By having Cranbourne, Beaconsfield and Narry,
also,
if they were the teams to come in.
There's also a significant impact on the volunteers because it's a longer day for them.
Yes.
Okay. And aside from all that, like when we went through this last time, several times, as John would know, like the history's been going on since 95, right? When these clubs all came in because the MPNFL didn't want them. They were told by Country Victoria at the time they had to have them. So that's how it all started, way back when. And during that, from 95 through to as late as, 2019, when Sefnal started up, finished up, there's, on my little list here, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 years where something's happened and a club's changed or a club's gone here or a club's gone there. It's just very unstable, and I can't see it. I don't see it as a benefit for longer term for our league. I don't.
You, though, Jeffrey, see it differently, don't you?
Oh, look, and that's the thing. This is what I was fearing all along when we had the president's meeting the other week, that we won't have a contest of ideas, we'll have a contest of values. And if you value the future of football, and one of the things we said as presidents, sustaining all 22 clubs, then the value system's got to be something that helps that retain. If it's the opposite, and you don't give a stuff about who's going to fall off the bridge, then that's not a contest of ideas. That's a contest of values. It means you're not about growing. I look at the competition. The competition hasn't been going since 1995. It's been going since 1888.
Yes, yeah.
And for the first 20 years, presidents fluffed around and basically argued, and you can go through it's actually on our website, on the MPNFL website. You go through it and you can see the letters to the editor. Same sort of arguments we're having right now, and it took them 20 years to get to the point of having a competition with 5 sides in it. And there was a bye all that time ago, and they travelled by horse and cart, by the way, from Frankston all the way to Sereno.
Yes.
So, this idea of not being able to travel and volunteers and all that. Over the years, we've admitted sides in. We've admitted sides in because there's been growth. There's been growth. You can see when Pines were admitted in 64, it was an estate that was growing. Coringal followed in 69. In amongst that, we had Bomb Beach. You had Mount Eliza in 68. We're all very young teams.
And then Devon Meadows a few years later.
Devon Meadows came in via that very Sefnal bloody mistake, so to speak. So Devon are sitting here basically saying we don't want Sefnal, but they were in because of Sefnal,
Right.
So my view is, and this is the bits that I really want to get to, is if we stick to what we've got, we don't have the population. The growth rate on the peninsula is ageing. It's ageing really quickly. Brett knows down there the housing prices are going up. The school numbers in Eastbourne School down there is going down, and it is going down. The feed of the young players down there is not going to be what it is now. It's not what it was. And that's why Rye's struggling. That's why Sereno's struggling. That's why Dramana's just there, because they've got the Dramana College. Red Hills model is probably one of the better ones because they've actually aligned to a few clubs over in the Mornington area to get their kids, and down in Balnarring.
They've done really well with
So if you look at it, my view is I don't particularly mind if we say, no, we don't want to expand there, or we don't expand. But I do want a contest of ideas that says, well, what is the future? What do we do for the Crib Points, the Tyabs, the Rise? Rise, an historical club. It came in after the war. 1946. Rye's been in there, been an absolute strength, got a very proud history and all that. Got Scotty Beale heading it down there with a lot of history, and I can't see a future for it if they don't do something different. Doing the same thing is not getting us anywhere.
No, I agree.
And Pines is exactly that. I don't know if your mate's not around, but if you throw a blanket over the Frankston LGA, we're all fighting over the same kids. And then Pines is a compound. So I look at the LGA there, and you look at the postcodes. If we stick to our postcodes, we're stuffed. And the only 3 things that'll get us there is demographics, is connections to the education. So you've got to chase that as well. And the third thing, and this is our only reason for surviving, is the dollars. So what's it going to be? Just the club who raises the most dollars wins the flag. That's our alternative?
This is the map that you've put up, Jeffrey.
The Pines is as big as Sandhurst. It's a soccer. It's a golf club.
Right.
So you look, and we've had to align. We've aligned with a couple of clubs in Mornington as well. We think it's part of a model. But the other thing's aligning with schools and education. The three clubs are at the strongest with that Mornington's could throw a blanket over
Yes.
that. They've got a heap of kids to pick from. Sorry, 4 clubs. Mount Eliza, they've got 2 massive private schools
They do.
that they can pick from. You've got Langwarren, got EMC there, and a lot of, I have to say, a lot of ex-Pines people go there.
Mount Eliza also gets the Mount Martha juniors. And
That's right.
We look at Whitfield and
Yep.
Wiedering and Hunter Clark, all from Mount Martha, talented young players.
And the other ones, EDS has got a good grounding
They
too,
do.
because they tap into the Mentone sort of belt with
They
the
do.
private schools
Yes.
and all that. So I look at all that and I go, if we don't do something different, we're in real strife. And look, we'll survive. We'll survive because I'm not going to let go of it. But I look at some of the sides on the Western Port side and think we're hanging them out to dry.
John, just a question to you. We've got teams like Karen Patterson Lakes, who are on top in 4th Division of the Southern Football League, dominating. We've got Cerberus, which is, of course, a Western Port club like Hastings, like Somerville, etc.
And was in the Nepean League
they
at one
were.
stage.
They probably should be in the competition. Chelsea Heights next door to Chelsea from the Southern League. They should be in the competition as well. South Mornington, Frankston Dolphins. I mean, it all makes sense, doesn't it?
Well, geographically, it makes sense, and I think you'd find that the clubs would fit somewhere. Like, and we've talked about Cranbourne. Well, Cranbourne would fit into a Division 1 probably. I mean, I know there was a lot of comment when we did talk about this that Cranbourne would just blow everyone away and be too good for everyone. Well, they're not that good. They'd fit in Division 1. Then you've got teams that would fit into Division 2 or plenty into Division 3 that you've just mentioned. Most of those clubs. So I would think that it would help the MPNFL. I know Brett has got the other view, but I would think if there was a Division 3, and now I'm on the Northern Footy League, I've sort of got a similar sort of thing. There's a big gap between suburbs, because it used to be Diamond Valley League. It's now merged in with Northern, so there's some clubs who travel a long way in the metropolitan area, but so I would think the MPNFL would be better with those sort of clubs coming in.
I've got a slightly different view, though. One of the things I need to give Brett some time too, so apologies, Brett. Like one of the things that I would like to see us tap into is those borders of the league. If I look at Mordialloc, for example, there's no reason why at some point Mordialloc couldn't come into the comp, and that then brings in that Mentone grammar belt.
Correct.
And all those sort of things. We're not even looking at that Chelsea Heights and where that borders, and that then brings,
Sky.
exactly. It brings you into those growth belts, and that's helpful for all of us. Like Pines was a growth belt back in the day. I can go around a lot of clubs around Pearsdale, all the way to Langwarren, all that sort of thing, and I can see Best and Fairest up on the wall that were Pines kids that. We had too many kids. They actually went to other clubs because we had the spillover. Now, this can happen. This can happen in those clubs too with the growth belts. We can have a spillover, and this idea of players won't come to us. Well, Jesus, we had Chewy coming from Paran and Preston, and the other side of the city.
Ivanhoe's where he lived.
Yeah, Ivanhoe.
I think
it will happen.
I think one of the other things that's worked out well by going into the divisional structure for a start was the fact that you've actually got 5 Peninsula clubs and 5 Nepean clubs in Division 1. So that it's a really good mixture, and the top 2 teams are former Peninsula, and the bottom 2 teams are former Peninsula. So the difference between the teams across the geography is not really an issue from my point of view.
Now, Brett, you believe that if we had a 3rd division, it would weaken the competition as a whole, don't you?
Not necessarily.
Not necessarily.
No. My view would be that if we're bringing in a 3rd division so that let's say the lower clubs in Division 2 can compete, then we're creating a lower division of competition. Yes, I didn't say it would weaken our competition. I said it would be a pretty low level of competition, and you can just have a discussion about. Making their salary cap lower so that they don't, because what will happen, and it will happen as sure as eggs, that they will recruit players with whatever funds they're allowed to have or can get. So let's say like what's happened probably a little bit at Pines. Some of your guys have gone to Tired probably for $100 or $200 or whatever it might be.
500.
So players of let's say a lesser standard are getting paid money to go to play in a lower level competition. That's just what's going to happen. But look, we can argue about this all night, but I think Jeff touched on what I think is one of the bigger issues is some of the junior clubs and the numbers that they have in them, because they've been allowed to, by the junior leagues, to have 2 and 3 teams in each age group. I think that's got to change.
Right.
So clubs can have one team in each age group, and it might have 25, 28 kids, whatever the number is. And once you get to that number, you can't register any more kids. They've got to go and find another club to play with, and that will spread the players to different places.
Yeah, well, I know there are a couple of clubs that are happy to have all these extra players who aren't playing a game of footy, but they're just happy to remain at a club because all their mates are there and they can spend time with their mates. But why don't you go and play a game of footy? One very strong club in the under-19s and reserves.
Yeah, but that's at senior level. I'm talking about junior level. Junior footy.
Yes.
Because once those kids aren't, let's say they don't go to, let's use Mount Martha as an example. They've got a lot of, I think, 23 or something sides.
They do.
So if they only had one team per age group, some of those kids would then spread to maybe Ballura or to South Mornington, and there's some of those kids at South Mornington. Then, if they get enough numbers and they don't get enough, the kids that live on the south side of South Mornington would then go to Dramana, and then Dramana might get too many. You just don't know where it'd end. But if you limit their numbers, then the kids will still play footy, but they'll spread to further places instead of having big power clubs.
This is the MPNFL President's Report with Brett McRae, the Rosebud Football Club President, Jeff Svigos from Pines, and the former CEO of AFL Southeast, John Anderson. Just a couple of other issues, gentlemen, before I let you go, and I really appreciate your time. Clutch TV is coming in. Now, Clutch TV is a new streaming service dedicated to community sport. I'm not sure how much you know about this, John. You log in and pay $7 to get the game you want. It's a live streaming and video on-demand subscription service that provides its customers with access to a wide range of sporting events and programs and related audio-visual content. Now, how it affects GameFace and how it affects the MPNFL is that from now on, my understanding is that GameFace can still call matches in the MPNFL but can't put it on our side, of which we get a lot of hits, especially after the game, from the coaches, from the players, etc. We get quite a few live, but especially after the game, because it will go on the new Clutch TV subscription site. I'd just like a view from each of you regarding that. That's what AFL Southeast are doing. Jeffrey? Brett has just given you a hospital handbag.
He has to. I'm a fan of GameFace for a few reasons. One of the key reasons is it's our own homegrown product. We were the first league to take it on, support, and Glenn's shown a lot of investment and being out there and taking it on. And he's the first one to say, "Look, we'll try something. We'll do something with you and all that." I think we should look after our own. I feel very strongly about let's make sure the GameFace product is protected. There's a return on investment for us.
There seems to be a decision that has been made again by AFL Southeast without the clubs knowing much about it, Brett.
Yeah, I hadn't have heard of Clutch TV until was it last Thursday or Friday?
Right.
Yeah, last Friday when it came out. So don't know anything about it. So I really don't have an opinion because, like I said, I don't even know what Clutch TV is. I'm the same as Jeff. I think we should be trying to look after GameFace because they've been promoting our league for 4 or 5 years now.
Yeah, they've done a bloody good job.
Exactly.
What do you think about it, John?
I honestly don't know much about it, Dan. Look, as Brett just said, I think GameFace has been a fantastic promoter of the MPNFL, and so if something like this is negative, sorry guys, I've got to get in the car and get to an appointment. You might hear things. I don't really know, but GameFace since that Pine Sorrento Grand Final, Dan, has been a real strong promoter of the MPNFL.
Well, exactly. I mean, it was one of the great games, and we do our best to promote, and we'd be devastated. I mean, look, we can still call it, but if we can't put it on our website, how do we promote what we're doing?
There's a way to
how do you fund yourself?
Yeah.
What's that?
How do you fund yourself?
Yeah. Correct.
Through your sponsors?
Correct.
There's a way to do
sponsors.
this,
I mean, we've got to look after our sponsors, as Glenn said.
And
absolutely.
There's a way to do this. I mean, the the league are our administrators, the presidents, are the operational people. We saw with 3RPP, there was some competition to start with, but look, when you look at that grand final, 3RWP were doing the call, and you guys were filming, and we get the USB made up and stuff. We can work together. There's no, if there's new ideas, I'm sure Glenn's open to them and all that. We can, it doesn't mean we shut anyone out of the market. I just think we need to protect our own product.
John, we'll let you go. There's just a couple of other issues I'll discuss with Brett and Jeff. I know you've got another appointment. Really appreciate your time, and we look forward to seeing how the competition goes moving forward, and good luck with the Northern League in the finals as well.
Yeah, well, thanks, guys. Thanks, Jeff. Thanks, Brett. Good luck. Hope you get to the finals, Brett. And Jeff, I hope you stay up.
Yeah.
Thanks, John.
Say hello to Fingers.
Yeah, I will. I'll probably see him tomorrow at a bang sang lunch. But anyway, I'll hopefully see you all soon. Thanks, Dan.
Good on you, John. Appreciate that. Good luck to Melbourne in the finals as well. John Anderson joining us, former CEO of AFL South East. Great to have him part of the program. Guys, just before we go, what's been the most positive thing of this season, Brett?
I saw that on the notes today, and I was
trying
to think of one. No, look, for me, I think to see our younger guys actually get a game of footy this year, because I think the most positive thing I saw last year was some of the Nanskowans and the Cummings and Fletch Huswaite and Sean Downey. I wanted to watch them play because I know they're now getting to that 20, 21, 22, 23 when they're starting to play their better football, and to see them this year start to play better every week, as was witnessed on Saturday. That's what I've really got out of this year. It's been really good.
Because you've got a great relationship with your junior club, as good as anyone, haven't you?
Well, we try to, yeah. Absolutely we do.
I don't think you try to, I think you do, don't you?
Yeah. We look, it's a one-club mentality, and
Excellent.
that's one of the. I do a little record each week, and we've got a photo now of the career club, the footy club, the junior footy club, the junior netball club, and our netballers as well, all in the one photo, and it's the best thing we've done. It's the whole, the career club, the junior footy club, and the footy club, the junior footy club, and the career club, and the junior netball club, all getting on together and working on making sure our facility is the best it can be, and that our athletes get the best opportunity to be the best they can be. That's what we're all about.
It's been a tough year on the field, Jeffrey, but a positive for you?
I just want to concur with Brett. Rosebud are a tremendous club. If you want to model, follow what they're doing.
Excellent.
And we certainly are. For me, look, it is what it is in terms of football and that. But we certainly blooded a lot of kids. With 40 odd on the list, which has been great for the kids to get a go. For me, though, it's the netball. The netball in the finals. We've never.
How long's it been?
I don't think we ever have. I think we've had some sides in it, but never four. So
were you expecting them to go as well as they've gone?
The last couple of years, we've worked really hard with the girls. We've brought the netball into the club as a vice president level. So we've got the girls coordinators in that role, and they're great. They're contributors right across the clubs. Made the club better, of course.
Good.
But we've recruited a really good coach who's got VNL connections and all that sort of thing, and I'm learning all these terms from netball. So, and I'm a fan. I just love the fact that they're up and about. So be good.
And you got an opportunity of having 5 teams in the netball finals, haven't you, Brett?
Yeah.
Is that 17s as well, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, good.
That's great, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's fantastic. Yeah.
It's a really good competition. Boys, thanks so much for joining us. Really appreciate your time. Lots to talk about. We hope we get some answers to the questions that we've pondered today on our first President's Report, MPNFL President's Report, thanks to ClubZone. Everything your club will need to raise money. It's time to supercharge your fundraising. Get right behind that. Thanks to Tom for making it possible, putting it together. John Anderson for joining us as well. And good luck, guys, for the rest of the season. And always get your GameFace on.
Thanks.